Life, it's a work in progress. It's about moments, memories, people, connections. And every interaction that I do with people that matters to me motivates me and inspires me to be better and to continue progressing in this work of life. Conversations with extraordinary people about this beautiful journey called life. And you're going to find it here in the Visible Audio Podcast. So I do want to move on to something that I'm a little bit excited to talk about. And it's the misconceptions of self-esteem. Because I think there's a bunch out there. Others like, yep. There is so many. And I think we kind of touch a couple because, I think one of the misconceptions is, when you learn to know a person, and I think this is just human nature for everybody, is I start seeing how they look or what kind of, maybe what they wear or what kind of habits they get into. And, you get to see the superficial and external things. So for some people, I know that when somebody looks maybe happy all the time or all put together and things like that, it gets to me a misimpression that they have a good self-esteem. They look so confident, and I think that there is a balance there. Yeah, a person can look good and feel good and have great self-esteem, but I don't think everybody's the same way. I think it's a hard topic because I feel that sometimes women, especially, they have to look good to feel good. I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. We like to look good. I mean, when it gets to the extreme that, you kind of have to change your whole self body and have body image, issues maybe to do that and to feel good. And yeah, that's an extreme. But I'm talking about, wanting to put something nice for yourself or have your hair done or put makeup on or whatever that may mean to you. I think that's healthy, right? I mean, that's good.
I mean, I think it's healthy. I'm a person who naturally likes to take care of myself and likes to look nice. I like to do my makeup. But that misconceptions that you were talking about, I think that, people assume sometimes when a person does look very made up, they look very put together, that equals that they have that high self-esteem or they have that high self-confidence. No.
Right. That's exactly what I'm talking about. It's, you have to, if you want to look good, great. That's, more to you. That's awesome. But yeah, that misconception that, if you see me in the store, or I usually don't wear makeup, and it's just my personal preference. And maybe in 5 years I may have to, even if I don't want to. But that's my personal preference. And so if I like to do that and have a ponytail and not be, very ladylike how I dress, I'm comfortable. I'm still have the same, confidence and self-esteem level that I'm always going to have. That doesn't really define me. But yet, if I go out or something and I like to wear something nice, I just feel more like, whoa, okay, that's nice. Feel like kind of boost it up a little bit. I think it's just a temporary boost though, because the one that dress comes out, you still have to know who you are to be able to, ground that self-esteem in you, right? So
definitely.
So don't get misjudged for that.
Right, because if you take this, for instance, if I take all of this off, am I going to still have the same confidence, with all of this off,
You will look beautiful no matter what. But yeah.
Thank you, Dave. But the truth is, I do feel beautiful without my makeup. I do feel that way.
That's
now, do I enjoy putting on my makeup? I do. But do I, like you said, it's a boost. It's not something that has to make my confidence. It's something that helps to boost it more. I'm already confident, so I'm just adding a little bit more. So now I can walk outside like, oh I know I look really, really good today. But when I take it off, it's like, I feel good, I'm
Exactly.
okay with who I am, because it has nothing to do with what's on the outside. What I have on my face is, I know who I am on the inside, and I know, I know who I am just in general. So it's okay if I don't have on makeup, or I'm not dressed up all the time, or I'll go to the store in sweatpants and I feel perfectly fine.
Right. Like this was a style many years ago, by the way. Sweatpants were on. So, well, that remind me of it was a TED talk that I watched, and it was well, again, I watch a lot of Peruvian things because my pride right there.
Mm-hmm.
But so this was a Peruvian, for the ones that are listening only, I'm pointing at a book about Peru. So I listened to this Peruvian actress, and she has been a communicator, and I just love who she is and how she presents herself, because she values a lot what people are from within. So she does a lot of these trainings to other organizations and things, and she was talking about how when people present themselves, they want to kind of put this persona in front of them, and they tell you what they do, what they organizations they members of what, and associations, and blah, 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 blah. But she said, what about if we take it all off? If we take off my degree, take off the organization, take off everything that I have become, that I have done, blah blah, and it's just me. She's like, wow, I just don't know what to do with myself. Because when you become you and just you have to be comfortable. And when we talk the superficial things about makeup and stuff, great, you may like it, you may not, but what about taking off all those layers of my master's degree, and I do this, and I have a business with that, and I have kids, and I have a husband, and I have this, and I have that, and blah blah, and what you're presenting yourself with, it's just Daniela, hello. It's just Audrey. Are you comfortable with that? And and you have to be, I mean, if you have some degree of self-esteem, you have to say, yes, I am comfortable just being me. And if I'm not all those things, I have to be comfortable with that. But that made me think a lot, because I mean, if you put that to reality, obviously we know that you can take away what you have learned, but if it was a reality to do that, how comfortable would you feel? I think at that I will feel comfortable, but also a little bit naked, if that's the right term.
Oh, very vulnerable. Like,
Yes.
I mean, definitely, like, you strip away a lot of things. Like, I think a person is just kind of open, like, because then you see them. I mean, just kind of just for who they are, like,
as a person.
Without all those other things that play a factor. Like, those other things all those other things play a factor in who you are, but at the same time, it's not who you are. They have helped make you into who you are, but at the same time, like, who I am is way more than my master's degree, way more than my job, way more than my business. Is way more than that to Audrey. I'm kind. It's water it down to that. Like, I'm kind, I'm humble, I'm loving, I'm gentle, I'm honest, I'm integral, those type of things. Those are the things that matter in the long run, more than those materialistic things, or the things, my job, or, the car that I drive, or, those different types of things. It just waters down to what makes me me. And it's not those things. What makes me is all those traits that I have that are on the inside that no one can see unless they come in contact with me. And so it's like, to me, those are the most important things. I mean, because to me, I feel like those things, they really don't matter in the grand scheme of things.
No, I mean, it's at the end of the day, I mean, I don't want to be gruesome zombie, but at the end of the day, when you die, you're just gonna take your
Yeah.
body, and everything that you lived, it's part of, it's gonna show who you are. You know, you're gonna, when you get in touch with people, and those important events in your life are most likely gonna be because people experience you as of who you are, not necessarily in the other instances. So I don't know, that just made me think a lot when she said that. And sometimes it's like, whoa, how comfortable can I be with that? It's a little scary, but very vulnerable, you know. So, and that also made me think about another misconception. When we talk about self-esteem, we have talked about that you have to know who you are, and you have to kind of almost be proud of who you are. But, you know, there has to be a balance, I think, between being pride about it, about everything, and being modest, if that makes sense. You know, I personally have a thing for people that think they're like, you know, yeah, I'm it. I don't like that. I just like, don't laugh at me. But it's just my thing. I don't know. I just don't like people that think they're it, because I don't think there's such a thing. I just, you know, I don't think there's anybody that can be it for everything. And so but it has to be a balance, because I mean, if you're proud about something that you did or you accomplished, go for it. Yes, let it show. But I think that there's kind of a balance, you know, between that. And I think that has to do a lot with self-esteem too. You know, I think that some people will argue that the lack of self-esteem will make you be more like those people I don't like.
Yeah, definitely. I agree with that, Daniela. A lot of times they have like this saying that low self-esteem is loud. Like a person who has very low self-esteem, like they boast on those things very loudly, like the things that, oh, this, I'm that, you know. And I think a lot of times I call it false confidence. Like, it's such an oxymoron or whatever, but at the same time, is this false confidence? Like, you're not that confident in yourself, because like, if you were, you can just be you. You don't have to do all of that, you know, to make yourself known or to make yourself feel okay about yourself. Like,
right. It's almost like they want to grasp into something, right? To kind of hold into, which is, you know, it's kind of sad. but yeah, I heard that before. But now that you put it into perspective, yeah, I mean, they have to, you know, to elevate their self-esteem. And I think it's almost like an internal mechanism that they're using to kind of boost themselves up, which is, you know, the beautifulness about our bodies and minds, but about being a human being. But it's kind of sad, because that means that that person was not properly, maybe to me it means that that person was not properly loved or trust or anything when they were younger. I don't know. It makes me wonder what is causing that, you know, that we discuss. Where is this self-esteem coming from? Or maybe it's a person that was taught on that's how you value self-esteem. For that, you know, the louder you are and the more, I don't know, you put yourself out there and show to everybody, you know, that you're it, that might be how you know, I don't know, evaluate your self-esteem, or might mean that you have better self-esteem. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah. I think like with like that goes back to what I was saying before about like a person they're seeking that validation. Like what is the point of you bragging on yourself? You know, is and I don't get me wrong, I think it's great when a person like they are excited to share their accomplishments with other people. I think it's a difference between bragging, being braggadocious, and a person who is simply sharing their accomplishments with
Yeah.
people who actually care about them into social media. I mean, we live in that where people, they share their accomplishments with their family or friends that are on social media, and I think that's perfectly fine. But there's a huge difference between someone who is completely bragging and puffed up and like kind of just they have that sense of pride, and not in a good way, but that sense of pride about things that they have going on, in a way of kind of diminishing or demeaning other people in
Mhm.
that sense. Just to kind of say, look at me, and what I have going on, and what you don't have going on, or whatever, in order to like kind of boost themselves to a place and put themselves on this pedestal that is not going to last. It's kind of a
Yeah.
temporary pedestal for that matter, because once that hand clapping goes away from social media, that person is left trying to, gain that again. So what can I do now to accomplish that again, to now get those hand claps again, that round of applause again? Now I have to now up myself to now receive, that praise from people who really just honestly may not even care that much
Right. That you
about
don't
it.
even know.
And so it's a very sad thing, because I think that a lot of people that I see, they're seeking that validation from other people, and they're being very braggadocious about those different accomplishments and things like that. And it's not in a way of just saying, hey, look what I did, and I know that you can do it too. It's more in a way of, look at me, and you're kind of here at this level, and you need to come to my level. But it's not it's
Right.
healthy esteem way. It's in a way of saying, it's a way of seeking that validation so that they can feel good in that moment. But then it's going to have to be a constant thing, because now I'm going to have to seek it more and more and more to then help keep my esteem at a level where it's not really ever permanent. And I just have to, that's that likes, that's that comments, those things that are just going to have to continue in order for me to feel good about me. And that is just terrible. That's so sad.
I know. And what I'm thinking more and more is that I mean, there was a time when that probably was not even part of our culture, to have something and inspect those likes and inspect those comments. I mean, there was a period of time in our youth probably, and or younger, that was not even an expectation. But nowadays, if you think about the new generation, that it's almost a common thing. A lot of kids know about that, and this is probably for another episode. But my issue with that is when it becomes addicting. When you are expecting those likes, those comments, some feedback from a stranger, typically, and you want more and more and more and more, and you're willing to do things or expose yourself out there in ways that are not really you. And and I'm saying that because I think it's important to talk about that. But like I said, that might be the specifics of it, might be for another episode. But it's I think it's gonna become a problem that to have an addiction to that response to that. I don't know that I can think about a better word, but that immediate feedback from other people about what you do, and thinking that everything that you do is important and should be up there. So
Mm-hmm.
so that's a little that gives me for the next generation. I hope not. I'm hoping wrong.
I know, definitely. Like I mean, and I think for a while, just like on a personal note, like I think for a while, like I kind of played into that, you know, oh, how many likes can I get? And this is like when social media first like was really like popular, you know, had
Right.
just like people were on Facebook and you know and then when Instagram really got popular and it was like, oh, how many likes can I get? And now it's like, do I even like, you know, I might scroll my timeline, but I really do not care like to even post as much, you know, unless it's for like, you know, business purposes. Like my personal life is like, you know, what happens behind the scenes, like I'm excited about it. And a lot of times the best things in my life happen outside of social media. So
I know, in a way, I'm kind of, I like to see what other of my friends are doing and stuff like that on social media. But at the same time, I'm like, you know what? If I don't hear from you, it's because you're living life. That's good. That's a good
yeah,
thing.
I
That's a
love
good
that.
thing. I know. So I do have one more misconception that I wrote down, and I think that this one I really want to talk a little bit more about. So before I do that, do you have a misconception that we haven't talked about yet that you think, or am I putting on you on the spot?
A little bit on the spot, but that's okay. So I think another misconception that people have about self-esteem is that, and I'm gonna go physical again. You know, because a lot of people, we're in this day and age of, if they see a person who is not a size 2, that person, you know, has to have low self-esteem, and that is not the truth. Like I know some full figure women who have all the confidence in the world, like,
Yes.
and I love to see it because I think that it is one admirable because um the way society is nowadays, like they have like this, if you're not model-esque or if you don't look like a Victoria's Secret model, or if you're not, you know, in the best of shape or whatever, it's like a person considers you to not have that quote unquote self-love. But you can love yourself from a size 0 to a size, I don't know, 22. It does not matter, because it does not start from outside, it starts from the inside. And a lot of people equate, you know, a size on a scale or a number on a scale to like how you feel about yourself internally, and that's not the truth. Like
Yeah.
a person can love themselves like wholeheartedly, like and not be perfect, or like or be not be the perfect or what society considers the perfect size. And I think that that is like one of the misconceptions that I have seen. And you know, I just I don't like I don't like that misconception because I just feel like it's very superficial, and like people have to broaden their view of things and realize like you know what society has placed on women specifically. I think that it, it has to change. Like our views have to change on that because it's just a huge misconception, and we all have room to grow in there.
Yeah, I think that you know, it's always important to remind everybody about this, because I think that a lot of people are still holding on to those images, like you said, from models, from things, and forgetting that the who you are, it's built from within. You know, doesn't matter if you lose weight, if you gain weight, whatever the case may be, you're still gonna be you. And the body is just, you know, a protection that we have from the sun and the elements of the earth. I mean, that's at the end of the day, that's what it is. It's just that. And we need to be proud of who we are, most importantly, who we have become as human beings. So I know that for a lot of people, this topic is very sensitive because, and like you said, especially for women, but I think for men too. I think that men also take pride on their physique and how, they look like and they portray themselves to out there. And I think that we as different genders see it a little bit different too. But people in general, I think that there's always going to be something that you don't like about your body. I mean, we're not saying that, you're going to love everything after this podcast. No, it don't work. But the main thing is that you love who you are. Like Audrey said, love who you are, who you know who you are, and take pride about your body too, and take pride about the beautiful things that you have,
Yes.
the extra love in the hips or in the waist. During this COVID season, I've been starting to loving it. So I have to say, but it's because it's still me. I'm still me. It's still me, and that's what you have to love the most.
Definitely.
So thank you for saying that, Audrey, because I think that that's a very strong misconception that we hope we can fix in this world.
Yeah, definitely.
So I want to tell you my last misconception. I'm sure there's many more, but this one I am very strong on, as I'm probably being strong on a lot of things here in the episode. But so I want to erase, I think, somehow the idea that once you have self-esteem, it's there to stay. Because I feel, and maybe you might correct me, but I don't think this is true. I think this is a trait that we need to build on and we need to work on. And one of the ways, to me, that a person can improve in life in general is by always willing to adapt, change, and learn. I think that people need to look up to try to be better every day. And by that, I mean not to live in mediocrity. There, I said it. I didn't want to say that word because I think it's harsh for some people, but and maybe it's just me. But I feel that the more people learn and are willing to change their traits that maybe are not even good for them, I think the better they're going to become and the more self-esteem they're going to grow, if that makes sense. So the misconception basically is that self-esteem is not there to stay. So if you have self-esteem, that doesn't mean that it's going to last forever. And I'm like, okay, we're good here. Great. I'm good to go for the rest of my life. I don't have to learn something new or learn from other people or, be better in my life. I'm good to go. That's what I mean. I'm a person that loves to learn new things and loves to learn from people. And that's mainly why I had this podcast, because I love to hear what other people have to say and to correct me too if I'm wrong. Maybe this is, a weird thing that is just me, but I would hate the idea of thinking that people have reached their potential at any age, that's all they have and that's all they can do for their life. And that's it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I know exactly what you're saying. And I do think like our self-esteem has the ability to grow, and it also has that ability to diminish. Like, I mean, let's just look at life in general. Life is not a straight line. Like, there's going to be so many different things that come into play that will kind of knock us back, and our self-esteem in the process may take a hit. And then like it may be times where like we're working on ourselves very diligently and like we're working on those flaws or those things that are imperfections or those things that we're not so happy with, and that our self-esteem continues to grow, or it grows even more. And I think that you're absolutely right. Like it's not one of those things that we've already we reach our max potential and then we just stay there. It's one of those things that we constantly have to work on. I mean, I'm in the gym because I want to be in the gym, because there's something that, I want to work on. Like I want to work on these things because I set a goal for myself and I'm loving the process. And so, but at the same time, it's like there's other things where there's been times in my life where, my self-esteem wasn't the greatest, and it's grown from there. Like I had to do the work in order for it to grow. And, but there were things that happened in life that kind of took me back before. And so it's just like, it's a constant growing, in a constant journey in life to grow your self-esteem, to maintain your self-esteem, and continue working on yourself. Like you don't just get to a certain place and then you just stop working on yourself. No, it's a constant thing. You're never going to reach perfection. Once you reach perfection, you don't need to be here on earth anymore. So
yeah. There might be something there because you reach perfection, you're not human or something. But that is so true. I mean, it's so true. And with that, I love this part of the misconception, because I think that we are also growing. Self-esteem is not just a bundle that you can hold on and I'm going to have this forever. I think it's as you grow and you hit different stages of your life, you're going to have to adapt to them. And you have to, take that and just mold it and just kind of diversify with different things, or learn that people, may be in a good stage in their lives and they may have, good self-esteem, but who knows what may happen a couple of years from now, and that might impact your self-esteem in a different way. It could be by boosting it or by bringing it down. So nobody knew that in 2020 this will happen. It's disaster. And I know that for a lot of people that were on career goals or setting goals for their lives, this has impacted also the path that they were going to. So, and in that case, you have two ways to deal with it. You either find another path that you can still go on, or, you tremble down. Or maybe you tremble down first and then you pick up yourself and go, which has happened to a lot of people. But that's why I was kind of emphasizing this in how important this is, at least for me. I want to say, and I hope that for many people, learning from their own, it's something that they can practice more often. So
definitely.
So Audrey, this has been a fun conversation.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, I don't know if I'm gonna do any editing, because this was wonderful. I mean, it was so flowy. It was so great. So, do you have anything else to add?
No, I just want to thank you for inviting me onto your podcast.
I'm
excited for what you're doing.
Oh, thank you, Audrey. I'm super thrilled for what you are doing with the self-care culture. I think that's, first of all, an awesome name for it. Kudos to you on that one, because that's the most difficult thing for a business, is to find out the name. So so I love it. And if you guys want to check it out, please do. It has a lot of positive messaging, a lot of good stuff for yourself. And I'm going to leave the links in the references, so look for it. Audrey, thank you once more. I really appreciate your time. I know you're a busy gal. Thank you. I hope we get to do this again for the second part of self-esteem.
Definitely.
Thank you guys, everyone that are listening or watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.
Bye.